This is the weekend edition of Ifiber One News, where we present some of the top stories from this week and your weekend weather forecast. I'm Bethany Jenks. Stay tuned for the weekend edition of Ifiber One News.
From the Ifiber One HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is Ifiber One News, your #1 source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is Ifiber One News, and it starts now.
One of our top stories for this week was about Tuesday's election results, where voters in Moses Lake rejected a bond measure to build a second high school, but approved the maintenance and operations levy. Reporter Devin Higgins has the story.
In the banquet room inside Michael's on the Lake, the atmosphere was optimistic for members of the Moses Lake School District gathered to get the election results Tuesday night. Smartphones were checked and rechecked as the 8 p.m. deadline passed, and Superintendent Michelle Price delivered the news.
Proposition 1 here. Yeah, sure. Wow. That's huge. How you doing? What was the bond last time?
Grant County voters gave the district a new maintenance and operations levy, but not a new high school. The $98 million construction bond, which would have financed a new high school and extensive renovations to Moses Lake High School, required a 60% supermajority to pass. Of the nearly 7,400 ballots submitted, only 54% voted yes. The M&O levy, meanwhile, passed easily with 64% approval, giving the district between $17 million and $18 million in annual revenue over the next 3 years, which is about 22% of their annual budget. Voters approved all of the levies running on the ballot on Tuesday with large majorities. The Ephrata and Quincy School District levies received 66 and 67% of the vote, respectively. The Grand Coulee School District received a slightly lower percentage of yes votes, but was still more than enough to meet the simple majority requirement of 50% plus 1. Moses Lake ran the only construction bond on the ballot. With the high school currently 700 students over capacity, Superintendent Michelle Price said the district is already planning on how to adjust to the lack of new space.
So the school board did make a decision that we would implement the year-round track schedule, multi-track schedule in the 2016-2017 school year, absent additional facilities. So the board will start with a study session to take a look at that decision, to take a look at the results of the bond, and to talk about what's next.
Members of the school board of directors and bond campaign committee also voiced their disappointment at the outcome.
For the bond, yes, I'm very disappointed. However, the community was given the opportunity to decide what they wanted to do, and we will take that vote and we'll figure out what we're going to be able to do to serve all these kiddos that are coming. So we'll just start. We've probably already got the committee going, and we'll see what we can do. It's what we've got.
I think people are worried about increased taxes, and I don't like paying a tax bill, but it is what it is. It's what we sign on for as Americans, and so I think there is also a push that people don't want to divide the community, and I understand that, but when you divide, sometimes you create more opportunities, and so we're sadly going to miss out on that, at least for now.
We felt that we really came up with a good solution for our children, and it was what we needed, which was a new high school, because obviously having over 2,300 students in a high school that's built for 1,650 students doesn't work. And it makes it very difficult for our teachers, for our students, and other options have to be considered, and the school board has already come up with an option that we were hoping to be able to avoid.
The final election results will be certified by the county on February 23rd. In Moses Lake, Devin Higgins for Ifiber One News.
Our next story is about Habitat for Humanity of Greater Moses Lake, which handed over the keys to their 13th home built for a deserving family. Reporter Cameron Probert has the story.
For Alexandra Colin, Saturday marked the first day in her new home. The Lowry Drive house is the 13th built by Habitat for Humanity of Moses Lake. Colin, her 3 children, and her mother were living in a 2-bedroom apartment before she applied to the organization for help.
And then there was mold in the bathroom, there was mold in the rooms, and I knew that I needed to do something, Financially, I wasn't able to get a bigger place at that moment. But when I applied for Habitat, it helped tremendously.
She said it was an amazing feeling when she heard she was chosen to be the next partner with Habitat.
It was a weight lifted off my shoulders. It's like, that help that I've been asking for. They, gave me that opportunity to be a homeowner is just a dream come true.
She and her family worked at least 300 hours on the house and helped with the organization's Festival of Trees fundraiser. They helped install the floor and clear rocks from the yard. For Colin, her volunteering isn't going to stop with the construction of her new home.
I'm going to continue volunteering. I'm very appreciative to them, and I'm very grateful that I want to continue helping other families to be able to have their homes as well.
For Ifiber One News, this is Cameron Probert reporting.
And now we take a look at people being sought by law enforcement.
This is Sheriff Tom Jones with the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Each of the people you see here have a warrant for their arrest. If you see any of these people, we ask you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but call us at 509-762-1160 or send us an email at crimetips@co.grant.wa.us. If the person is presenting a danger, call 911. With your help, we can bring these people to justice and make our community safer.
We'll be right back after this.